In this video, I wanted to talk about joint origins and as-built joints in Autodesk Fusion 360. Now, joint origins basically are these points that you would find in placing a regular joint, but you're just finding the points and not the entire joint. So, go to joint origin, and I want to put there are two types, simple and between two faces. We'll do a simple one first on the front key point of this block. You can change the orientation, angle, or offset if you desire. Let's place another one on the front of this cutout. Now I'm having a hard time finding that cutout center. I find the edge, but that's not what I want. So what you do, you pick on a nondescript point on the face, then you can pick the center very easily. Again, the angle or offset. Now, the advantage of origins, they can be saved with the components. Someone else can use them in another assembly, or it can be assembled later by you. You can translate to other people what you want to use for key features for placing joints in this method. Now let's go ahead and place a joint using these. Pick joint. Instead of picking a new point, we'll pick the existing joint origin and the existing one, and we're going to do a slider and we're going to flip it. Notice it goes point to point. Now notice the hole is on this face. I want it on the top. You could go back and modify the joint, but I'm going to do the joint origin. Edit the joint origin and simply rotate it 90 degrees. And you see it fixes it. Be sure to go back and look at my video on restraining motions, but let's move on to the next one. We're going to get rid of all those joint origins and joints and start over. We're going to do one joint between two faces, joint origin between two faces. So I'm going to pick this one. I want it dead center of the part, so I pick on this one, hold down my left click and pick the other face, and then pick on the center point to put it dead center. Again, the offset and rotation can be done. Got one, let's do the other one. It's a little bit harder, but you can get it. Between this face and, whoops, I bit the wrong thing, so I cancel. Joint origin, I forgot to set between two faces. Pick this face, and then you can set it up on the center of the plane. Again, changing the orientation if you need to. Let's put these together with a joint. Pick the existing one, hold down your thing, and pick the existing joint origin and this one, and they go together. Well, I want to change my axis to the x-axis, but no problem. Say OK. Shifted to a new model, let's talk about as-built joints. As-built joints are located under assembly, and basically they are joints that are applied to two components in their existing position to each other. Now, if you saw my previous video on a line, this is a good method to use for temporary alignment of components. I need to align this cylinder by the center of it to the hole it goes to right here. And you can do that very quickly for temporary alignment. Now, if you have a component in the position like this, unless you ground it, it's going to be moved. So let's apply the joint and use an as-built joint. Go between two components, this component and this component, and the kind I want is a revolve, and say OK. Oh, in revolve you must select the location of the pivot. So I need to go around the z-axis. Say OK. Now I'm going to place another component. Now I wanted to be sure you understand that when you're placing a component, the orientation makes no difference to constraining. It's just get it convenient so you can see the holes. In this one, these two holes go to match these two holes. So I'm going to do a align here under modify, align this hole to this hole. I need to flip it so it's on top, and I'll capture position. Now I'm going to use an as-built joint for these two components, this component and this one, and I'm going to do a rigid. So that's a quick way to join two components that you previously aligned temporarily in your assembly. Now I want to make a point about alignment. If you go, a point about joint origins. We talked about these earlier. If you try to apply a joint origin to a linked part, such as this rim, it will not work. We can assign it very quickly to the flywheel, but not the rim. This is because the part is linked. So I'm going to take the linking off, remove the linking, then I can set it very easily. So that's one restriction on joint origins. So don't forget that one. Thank you very much.